Alright, what's good everybody? How you doing? We got another tier list update video, this time for tier list 2.0. This tier list has been around for 1 second ago. Now, this tier list has been around for how many months now? Like 2 months maybe? This is a constantly updated tier list that I have on Smite Guru. Awesome guys at Smite Guru allow me to have this list here just be a representative of my tier list and constantly updated, as I said. So right now the only one that's unranked is Ratatasker because his changes are too new. I don't know that much about him yet. I haven't experienced that much about him yet. Etc, etc. The blank here. First, let's talk about the blank here. That is Susano'o for right now. I don't know if it's just an error on the site for the moment. Well, I'm sure it's an error on the site for a moment. Hopefully it'll be fixed momentarily. But that is Susano'o. Now, Susano'o has definitely earned his spot in S tier. I'm sure many of you will actually think that he's above S tier. The reason that he is not, however, is because his late game is actually pretty rough. It's not bad, but it's pretty rough against these S plus gods and the S gods above him. I assure you that he will lose to pretty much everyone that's above him in this list if they make it to late game. So he has to snowball quite hard in order to actually beat out those gods. And I mean quite hard. Like he has to go like 4-0 and such. Because I've been able to do it personally with Anhur, with Apollo, with Uller, etc, etc. Just lock him out. Even Freya, I went like 0-5 and was able to win, but that's Freya, So his late game is not the greatest for sure. It's probably not even as good as Sol or Mercury's or Cupid's, but the fact that he can kind of overwhelm those gods enough to keep them out of it and should be able to solidify his own lead for long enough really solidifies him in that spot right in the middle, I believe. So I like that placement of Susano'o. Let me know if you disagree or anything, but please try to be kind and in your arguments don't obviously don't bash or anything, so or I'm gonna beat you up. So then we have Jingu, the newest addition. Or no, he's the newest addition, the second newest addition to the tier list, Jingu. Putting her in S- right now. It's kind of a tentative slot because she has a lot of potential, and then she also doesn't. She has her passive allows her to outfarm anyone in the game, like no problem, easy mode outfarm anyone because she is always on the map. If you kill her in the early game, she will respawn within 5 seconds and can return to the map before you can take a buff, or she can return to the buff you're taking and kill you on it. So you always have to be aware of her, and you have to time your farming around her respawn cycle. So you have to be very, very careful, and you're never really allowed to just free farm against this character. She's always a threat. So the reason that she's not so strong, despite having the highest farm potential in the game, is that her actual 1v1 potential compared to the other ADCs, only because her 1v1 potential, in general is strong considering how high she is on this list, is very strong, but is nowhere near as strong as the higher up ADCs in S plus and in S. So you have to consider that. That in the actual neutral, she's not nearly as strong as those gods. And the way that I see it, though, is that to make up for that, because of her, it's not clear potential, right? It's her farm potential. Because of that farm potential and her inability to get to be behind her opponent in experience or gold, she is able to nearly always, if you're playing it correctly, have a lead over you. So if she can use that lead correctly, she could win in a 1v1 scenario despite being a worse god in that 1v1 than the god she's facing, right? Because someone like Chiron or Shablanke should be able to out 1v1 her in a neutral stance, but she should have the experience lead and the gold lead to propel her further. That's the way that I see it. And I could be wrong about that, so once again, let me know what you think. But that's how I see those two gods for now. Other than that, I moved Kronos up above Bakasura. I think Bakasura is a really pub stompy ranked god. He's very just backdoor scum, and you have to watch out for him. Be so careful. If you make a mistake, you can end up losing. Very similar to Loki. Though I honestly, I've been thinking that Loki needs to be higher and higher all the time. He is just so dumb. There are so many ways to escape with Loki and to safe farm with him to ensure his late game potential. Like, other than these top ADCs, I don't see anyone that can really stop him. And as I'm not sure if you saw, but I went up against a Loki in a tournament very recently as Freya, and that matchup is damn near impossible. Despite having a banish against him, where everyone's always like, oh, because of the banish, you can beat Loki easy peasy with Freya. It's only for the early game, and Freya does not have much snowball potential. She has, extremely high 1v1 potential, but with Loki, it's not a 1v1. It is, let's fucking go, I'm Loki, shit on your life. So I'm actually going to move Loki up above Hebo for sure. Fuck, I need to edit. So I'm definitely going to move Loki up. The more that I think about it, the more I would say he's up there, and I would honestly put Nemesis up as well. So I'm going to move both of these gods into S+, and move Baka down to S. I hate when it does this. Let me see if when I change it, it'll go. Yeah, so I'm actually going to do that. I think Kronos is definitely a lot better than Bakasura, and I think if you look at it, all of these guys are a lot better than Bakasura. Bakasura can easily be bullied out and doesn't have, unless you allow him to snowball like crazy, you really can't have such a hard time against him, because unless you allow him, like I said, one, to bully you and get to his late game easily, he can be out-cleared quite easily, especially considering you go Golden Bow on almost everyone. And he can also just be out-traded with the right type of kiting potential. He can be easily kited with the right type of gods. On the wrong type of gods, he is a monster, and he will instantly destroy you if you're anyone below S, or not even some of the gods in S, but he definitely beats like Mercury. I'd say he probably beats, I don't know about Sol, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. So definitely the Bakasura change, I am fully behind. If you disagree with it, once again, let me know. And the Loki, like I said, I just gotta say, like, the guy, I used to say he's so overrated, but he's really not. All he has to do is save farm, and then there is no way to allow yourself to survive the Loki combo in the late game, and he almost cannot be stopped from getting there by anyone but these top ADCs. So we'll see as the meta moves forward how Loki goes. Nemesis, though, if you've missed my last talk about her, she's an insanely strong god overall. Only gods with hard CC that is readily available in their kits can beat her, and even then they don't beat her very hard. She is very, very potent at all stages of the game because of her ultimate cooldown, because of her 3 cooldown, and because she has the the accessibility of the Golden Bow now to allow her to get to that late game. Late game, she is, like, bar none, one of the greatest 1v1ers in the game. So yeah, very happy with the way this list is looking, and happy with the way the updates have been smoothly running. So remember that this is 2.0. If you have any further questions, address them in the comments below. This video will be on YouTube as it is on Twitch right now. Remember to follow my Twitch over at twitch.tv/Nshadow, same as my YouTube, youtube.com/Nshadow, and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you guys so much for watching my content. I hope you've been enjoying everything and keeping up with me as I've been keeping up with you, and trying to put out as much content as possible for you. So thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you next time.